Hello, this is Purge, bringing you guys the finals of the Ghost League Division 1. It's going to be Navi versus Kaipi, and I'm joined by LD. LD, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Navi versus Kaipi. These two teams had a pretty exciting matchup in the group stages, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one shakes out.
Yeah, now let's talk about the teams a little bit. Everybody knows who Navi is, of course. Got first place at TI1, got second place at TI2. Fantastic team. Kaipi, a little bit less known. They came through Division 2 of the GosuLeague. If you guys don't know how the GosuLeague works, we have multiple divisions, and this is not invite at all. You have to play to get into your placing. So for Kaipi to get into Division 1, they had to play through Division 2. They won Division 2, got placed in Division 1, and all of a sudden, their first season of performing here, they got equal points in the league as Navi did, and that's super impressive.
Absolutely, and well, let's be fair. This is not the full Navi. It looks like Black is standing as well as the mystery man, Hey Man, and they're gonna start this one with a Jakiro and a Templar Assassin. Batrider is in the pool, so it won't be surprised if Kaipi picks that up.
Yeah, he did get a very slight strength nerf, about half of the buff that he got originally from, what is it, 7.67? I can't remember the numbers anymore. The buff previous to this one, 7.66 something.
So
Got
I
a
just want
decent
to double
strength buff.
check. You got do you have full screen up?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I didn't switch it until I waited until the picking screen came up.
I'm just
Otherwise,
paranoid.
they were gonna like freak out. I know you're probably like super worried. I got this, man. I might not mess this up. The one you should be concerned about is the one after the picking screen.
In Purge we trust.
In Purge, just today though. Juggernaut drafted next by Kaipi. They're doing a lot of early game strat here. Rubik as well. They do draft Rubik a lot on Kaipi. We'll most likely see Pylai Die play that as a support. I actually haven't been seeing that much Rubik solo in the last week or so. I've been seeing a lot of Rubik support actually.
Yeah, it just proves how versatile the hero really is, and you may draft him and have it sort of open ended that he could play solo, but then you see their picks develop, and it makes more sense to throw him in as a support. I like this Juggernaut pick between Track and Blade Fury. That can be tough for Templar Assassin. That's a lot of damage over time. Choose refraction quite quickly, and they have some good chasing power, and that's one of TA's weaknesses is getting kited a little bit.
Yeah.
She relies on those slows, which, speaking of changes in this patch, Trap's got a very slight nerf. I don't really think it changes the hero too much, but they start slowing you at 30%, and then over the course of like a second or so, they increase the slow to 50. So a very small change. That being said, there's a lot of lockdown backing her up, and the Jakiro and the Chaos Knight. So we'll see how it shakes out, but on paper, I kind of like this Juggernaut pick.
Yeah, and most importantly about the Jug pick, if we take a look at what happened at the best of two that happened on Saturday, or Friday was it? I think it was maybe Friday. Yeah, Friday. No, it was Saturday. Was it yesterday? I can't even remember. Anyways, they picked Juggernaut and they actually won. That's how they won their Navi game versus, or they won their game versus Navi. They picked a Juggernaut. They played pretty effectively, and then the game after that, Navi actually banned Jug in the first round, I believe, so just to prevent Kaipi from playing the Jug again because it was such a solid counter against TA. Now, Dendi did misplay slightly in that game because Jug was able to get the solo ulti off, and he got a solo kill on the TA, which was a mistake from Dendi, but regardless, Juggernaut's still a very good early game hero, and Kaipi played them very effectively.
Yeah, and it's also a very difficult to gank hero. And when you look at a lineup that already has a Templar Assassin, a Chaos Knight, picking something like Juggernaut means if they want to go on you, or hell, for that matter, Bounty Hunter, you have to invest money to get sentries or dust to do it. The Bounty Hunter Juggernaut always has that Blade Fury and the invulnerability from the ult. So, when you're up against these aggressive tower divers, one of the best ways to deal with it is to pick strong defensive heroes. So on multiple fronts, I feel pretty solid pick. It looks like right now they have their offlaner, probably have their safe lane farmer in the Juggernaut, and it could be a solo mid Rubik, could be a support Rubik. So they're looking at a solo mid and a support, or two supports. We'll have to see exactly what they want to do.
How do you feel about these bans so far out of Kaipi? Kind of seems weird to me for the fact that they have a TA and a Chaos Knight already, which is a moderate amount of carry potential. Now, Chaos Knight has been played as a support, a pulling support sometimes by Navi. Puppy would do the small camp pulling, get some EXP that way, and then roam with the bottle. We saw this the last time they played, I believe. But even still, a Clinks and a Lycan ban. Now, Lycan isn't seeing that much play. I think Navi's one of the few teams that is actually experimenting with it, but they are just all about banning physical DPS carries. Do you think that these are warranted?
It's hard to say. If another way to deal with those is to pick a Sven. Now I was about to say, why did Navi not ban Batrider? But there you go. They leave it in the pool. Kaipi's going to get their hands on it, and this could be their solo mid, very strong versus TA. Now Navi could try and kind of mind game this and throw a dual lane there, Chaos Knight Jakiro. That could be trouble for Batrider, and put TA as their safe lane farmer. But Another way to deal with that physical damage is to pick a Sven. Warcry is absolutely ridiculous. So I'm surprised, a little bit surprised they would ban these, but you can put Clinks as your off-lane hero. And in the mid game, having that silence can cause some problems for heroes like Juggernaut, Rubik, Bounty Hunter. It's also it's Navi, and we've seen Puppy run his jungle like in quite a bit. His team pulls him regen. He does some pulls here and there, and he it's a minute or two slower, I would say, but if you get some early help from your team, it's not too bad. So I think it's more of just a Navi specific kind of ban.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate here. I did forget to mention this, guys. The prize pool is going to be $2,500 for the GosuLeague Division 1. That's every single month we have a tournament. Just about every month. Sometimes we take one off if the international happens and a large block of time is gone. But very often tournaments that allows for a lot of shuffling of teams and allows up-and-coming teams to actually perform at the high level and have access to prize pools. So it's one of the coolest things about the GosuLeague, in my opinion. If you guys are watching on stream and you want to watch some of the other matches in the past, the best way to do that is go buy the in-game ticket. It's only $1. It's by far the cheapest ticket. It gives you pretty good cost effectiveness for the benefit. You only get to watch Division 1 matches, unfortunately, instead of the Division 2 and 3s. But even still, $1 for a match ticket, you can't pass that up. So feel free to hop in there if you want, and you can listen to our in-game audio as well.
Right, and yeah, it's ridiculously cheap because, like you said, it's not just for this season; it's for the future seasons as well. Apparently, Heyman is karaoke.
I see.
So that is what Toby is telling me anyway. He says it is confirmed by two sources. So I guess it's karaoke and Black. So two stand-ins for Mouse. A little cross-pollination going on, if you will.
Interesting. Maybe that's why they put him on a different account, because they didn't want to have the admin rule go against them again. What team is Kuroki on? An official team right now? Is he on? He's on Ubelst, right? Is he already not playing there anymore?
I thought he was on Mouse or GD.
He did actually join Zero or whatever. In which case, he would have also been in Division 1.
They've been switching teams so much. Whoa! They pick up a Tiny as the last pick.
Weird.
Okay, Jungle Batrider, solo mid Tiny, offlane Bounty Hunter, and a Juggernaut Rubik dual lane.
I guess so.
But Tiny has a really tough time 1v1 against Templar Assassin. This is a really greedy lineup by Kaipi.
You think so? Well, yeah, Avalanche is okay at killing Refraction, but that's pretty much all you're limited to, right? Like, Toss can be blocked, your right clicks are pretty much gone. And of course, TA does a ton of physical damage, and Tiny has 0 armor, pretty much. So, very, very easy to out-harass a Tiny in a lane as a TA, and especially if ganks come, it's all over for the big guy, or the little guy, I suppose, when the ganks come early.
I mean, this you're right, it's not a terrible hero versus Templar Assassin, and if you do break through the Refraction, he kills her real quickly with those auto attacks. But I'm just concerned about their laning stage. Sure, Batrider's a solid jungler, but it's not like he's going to come out of the jungle and push down a tower at level 5 like an Enigma or Chen can. And they need a lot of levels. They need a ton of farm, and they're picking into these heroes against a lineup for Navi. Jakiro, Chaos Knight, these heroes can just start killing at level 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Bounty Hunter could be kept completely out of the lane, and I think Navi sensed the greed. They want to punish it early, so they're going to go for an Enchantress. And honestly, Bounty Hunter can't stop that push when Enchantress comes out of the jungle. Tiny's pretty gankable in the mid lane. He doesn't have a blink or any sort of true escape spell. This could be bad, and it wouldn't even surprise me if they went with an offensive tri-lane, and I don't know if Kaipi can deal with that. So I love this pick from Navi, and I think the Tiny may have been one pick too many in terms of farmers. But we'll see. We'll see if they can pull it off. If they get through the early game, they're going to be in great shape.
Yeah, I think if the Batrider can end up getting some decent levels in the early game and then coming to gank mid, I think Tiny plus a Batrider will be effective at shutting him down, especially if they can toss the TA towards the Batrider on the Radiant side high ground. Something like that would be really fabulous. So, overlay, yes, not messing it up. We are into the game, guys. Nobody needs to worry.
In Purge, we trust. In Purge,
yes, exactly. All right, for the Radiant team, this is Team Kaipi. We have Pylai Dai playing the Batrider. We have Fata playing Juggernaut. PAS is playing Bounty Hunter. Last two players. Zara is playing Tiny, and Babar is on the Rubik. That is Team Kaipi going against Navi in this best of 3.
Yeah, meanwhile, Puppy on that defensive jungle Enchantress. Kind of thought they'd run a tri-lane with the Jakiro, the Chaos Knight, and the Enchantress. But hey, she's great defensively as well. Hey, man, the stand-in who is apparently Kuroki playing that Jakiro. Might do a dual lane mid with Black, who is handling Chaos Knight. Light of Heaven going to be playing his signature off-lane Windrunner. I'm glad we're seeing more of this lately. I really love, out of all the heroes Light of Heaven plays, I feel like this is his most iconic. And last but certainly not least, it's Dendy, who's going to be farming that safe lane. So they don't want to end up with this Batrider TA matchup. They're going to throw Dendy into the safe lane, and looks like they're guessing right, because it's just going to be a Bounty Hunter up top, and it looks like Batrider might even be doing some pulls mid. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure what they're up to. Maybe they're trying to go for some Juggernaut cheese, like tossing the Juggernaut in, and then Blade Fury to get an early first blood. That's sort of the only thing I can think of with these lanes for KP right now.
Yeah, they are pretty interesting, all right. He's got interesting items too, Gauntlet and a Circlet with an Ironwood Branch and a lot of regen. So I guess this means he's not roaming for sure because he has no mana here. Unless maybe Juggernaut's doing some kind of farm as well. I'm guessing he's going to be mid, though. It's going to have to be a tiny mid. And especially when the dual lane shows up, I dare say they'll have to shift Rubik over. Juggernaut can do okay against a Windrunner, but if it's just a Tiny versus a Chaos Knight Jakiro dual lane, he's going to get outlaned so hard. And any Tiny that does get shut down early is going to have a really rough time making contribution in the mid game. So I think they're going to have to do a dual lane in the middle as soon as they notice the Chaos Knight there.
Yeah, Juggernaut honestly might do better than the Tiny in that mid lane because he's got Blade Fury if they jump on him, and it looks like that's what they have in mind. This is pretty clever by Kaipi, because if they jump in on Juggernaut, even if they bring him low, unless they get like a 3 or 4 second stun, they're not going to kill him. And then whereas Tiny, if he gets caught, sure, he's a little bit tankier in terms of his base strength, but he's very farm dependent. And I like this decision by KP. They're kind of out mind gaming Na'Vi with the lanes, and this should go well for them.
Lightheaven going to trade some hits with Barrier. This guarantees that Tiny will grab the rune if it's bottom, and it's going to be top actually. Top rune going to go to Hey Man. Jakiro picks up the regen. And yeah, lanes are very interesting. A lot of mind gaming going on here. Puppy even putting a sentry ward down, trying to check for a lane ward. It's actually not going to be there. Thinking a little ahead there as PAS is going to long lane the bounty hunter. So yeah, Jakiro sitting mid. We do see a lane ward as I see you circle that up.
I'll try not to clutter your screen too much.
Just white everywhere. Yeah, Juggernaut mid. This is going to be pretty effective. If he does get chain stunned, he's going to take a lot of damage. But after he spins, he should be pretty survivable in the after effect.
If they kill him, it's going to be once the Chaos Knight hits level 3. If he gets a 3-second stun, because if you are able to chain stun him and he can't pop Blade Fury until he's low enough, you can bring him down with auto attacks. But it's going to be very difficult, and it looks like they're doing some pulling mid. That's one of the things we've seen a lot from these jungle Bat Riders. You notice he killed off the trees right away with Firefly, and that's going to mean if they dive into the Juggernaut, Bat Rider will be nearby to kind of punish that aggression. So this is really, I almost want to say next level in terms of the lanes, and it looks like Heyman recognizes this might not work that well, and well, we'll see what he does. Chaos Knight isn't bad 1v1 versus Juggernaut. I almost feel like this Twin Head Dragon would be better off just doing some pulls top.
Lightheaven's going to take some hits here. This is Telekinesis. Avalanche goes down. Lightheaven might see a toss. Not enough mana. His starting item build did not allow him to do both combos together. Didn't have 240, only 234 max mana, and you need 240 to be able to do that. Regardless, I don't know if they would have killed him with a level 1 toss, but, you know, slight loss there. Yeah.
It's close. And that level 1 win run doesn't last that long either, so... Yeah, it's a very early start to this game, and Enchantress is keeping Na'Vi in a decent shape in terms of experience. And bottom lane, again, the harassment on Light of Heaven just really... We see this a lot with the offlane Windrunner. She can't do too much early on, especially with the hero like Rubik, who whenever you pop Windrun, just throw her up in the air Telekinesis, Windrun is wasted, and then you're in grave danger of dying. So they're doing a good job in that lane. And you notice the Twin-Headed Dragon's just constantly leaving the lane, checking runes, doing dewarding. If it was the Tiny, or if it was really, I mean, even the Bat Rider mid, I feel like they could be more aggressive, but with Juggernaut, it's just very unlikely they're going to get a kill.
I'd also like to point out that Light of Heaven didn't really come to lane with a whole lot of regen. He had a single tango. Babar's actually doing some harass. This might be his death. Avalanche comes through, and he does get killed. First blood on the bot lane. Zara able to get the last hit, so first blood goes to Tiny. Not enough regen on Light of Heaven on the bot lane. That's very unlike him to only go to lane with a single tango and a ring of protection. He must have bought some regen items for other people or something like that, and as a result, maybe he's expecting Bounty Hunter Soul or something like that, and then maybe that's why he didn't bring a lot of regen or something. I'm not sure.
Right, when you know, like we were talking about, there's a lot of things both teams could have done with the lanes. Na'Vi could have offensive tri-lane. KP could have sent Tiny solo mid. It was a little bit hard to predict, but Babar will get caught. Power Shot is going to connect, and I like this rotation from Jakiro. You're not going to kill the Juggernaut mid, at least not until the Chaos Knight hits probably level 4, level 5, and so rotate bottom, gets a kill. That's going to help them out quite a bit. Zar up to 1,300 gold. Well, we said he needed a good start. This is a fantastic start for him. And it should be mentioned, Dendi is free farming, so it's not like all is lost for Avi, but trading evenly in the lanes, I gotta say, I think KP is going to be pretty happy with that.
And Puppy might turn this into a push as well. He's got a Dark Troll as well as an Ursa Warrior. Level 3 on the Bounty Hunter, so he's going to be able to do some damage. Dandy actually does some crit down. There's the net as well. Going after him. The clap's going to hit, actually, and he runs back into the tower range, but that is not the safe direction. Walks right into the Ursa clap, and this tower just might get killed pretty quickly here. The creep wave will be backed, or killed at least, by the Troll as well as the Ursa. And once the next wave comes in, it's going to be taking a lot of damage.
This is what we talked about. Navi needs to win the laning stage. And so far, score 2-1. Oh, Fata used the Blade Fury a little bit early. The healing ward keeping him alive. Killed off by Chaos Knight. And he'll escape in the end. And now with the bottle, just going to heal back up. So annoying trying to burn this Juggernaut down. Even if they kill him, it's going to cost them a lot. But I like how Navi goes for that kill. Now they're pressuring the tower. Puppey needs to keep the aggression up. I would even like to see them go for 2. Although, you'll notice Paz is not really being shut down. He's getting more than... Oh, he was getting more than Light of Heaven. Now Light of Heaven's caught up. But giving the Bounty Hunter this decent start, if he finds some track kills, that's really what Kaipi are looking for. Just a couple of track kills and life will be gravy, and Light of Heaven gets tossed up in the air, and that's pretty much it.
So they do take the top tower. Danny's going to push this out. I'm also interested in Puppey's skill build. I find a lot of Enchantress skill builds are all over the place. PS is going to miss the Ice Path, or dodge the Ice Path, that is. But I've seen some Enchantresses do a lot of different stuff, though, but it's interesting. 2 enchant, 2 nature's intendants. I even saw, I think there was maybe... Team Dignitas opted for 1 enchant and then 2 heals and a ton of stats. So it's a very interesting way to build the hero. And especially up against a Tiny, something like that may be smart.
Yeah, when you're exactly when you're up against Tiny, when you're up against burst damage, it's no good having the heal max if you just die to the combo. So I think that's why we see a lot of Enchantresses favoring stats, because a lot of teams are favoring burst damage, especially in this patch, which is much more about hero killing. That Rider almost died in the creeps. Here comes the rotation in mid. Are they going to go on Fata? Maybe they'll... Nope. Just, I keep on thinking, all right, now they're going to go. It's a melee hero farming at the creep wave, but it's a Juggernaut, so it's really hard to find the right moment to go in.
His armor's not too bad either. 6 base armor going on here. Bat Rider now hitting level 4. He did kill those stacked camps up at the large camp here. Very effective way to get some EXP with that AoE here. He just has to get level 2 based on pulling small camp, and once he hits 2, he can easily kill unlimited stacks. Just stack a bunch of napalm and use the Firefly for that. So Dendy's getting very close to Blink Dagger on the top lane, up to 1900 gold, which is fantastic. Really, really fast Blink Dagger will be coming out of him most likely. Downside is he won't have a wand or a bottle, so no burst mana regen out of him.
Ooh, mid lane, Flame Break up, pushes them back. Wanted to pull them in with that. I think we're going to see Dendy get real active. I might farm until he hits, say, level 8 or 9, but if he waits much longer, Bat Rider's going to be 6 soon. Juggernaut is already pretty much impossible to kill without a perfect chain stun. You really need a 4-second from the Chaos Knight. Otherwise, now he's got his ult, which is just another escape mechanism for a hero that's at mid, so he doesn't have to walk very far to survive. You notice he's carried a TP scroll, and he's even opted for the magic wand over boots. This is just a very defensive build, but it really fits the situation. Puppey's getting some levels up. Again, I think Na'Vi, we're going to see them apply more pressure in the next minute or 2. Maybe 3 or 4, but if they wait much longer, Bounty Hunter hits 6, Tiny's getting a bunch of farm, a bunch of levels. They can't wait too long. The clock is ticking, because if they don't find those kills soon, then you start diving towers versus Bounty Hunter, and it's very likely the track ult's going to go the other way.
Yeah, you have to be so careful when you're up against a Bounty Hunter to at least kill him first, or try to make sure that you don't go at least... You have to go really positive in terms of the kills in the fight, otherwise track will push things over the edge. And he's got decent farm on the top lane. 17 last hits. He's only died once. 1 TP coming from Jug mid. He's got a DD still up. Yes, he does. Only about 10 seconds left. He's going to walk right over the TA trap, so he knows exactly what's going on. PAS going for the initiation. Here comes the slow on top of Dendy. He's got a meld as well as a refraction. If they don't have dust, he can just like meld after the Omni Slash comes through, and he's going to put it down. Dendy just puts the refraction on and now running away, but the spin just might do enough damage, and Dendy does get picked off. Oh, he was tracked. I'm sorry. Excuse me. He was tracked. He couldn't actually meld dodge it.
Right, but more importantly, unbelievable that he actually keeps up there. He's not fast at all, and he was so far behind, but that's where the track comes in to keep you in range. Bottom lane, huge trade. A blow's being traded. Life having to find the first kill. Now Babar runs in. Zap not going to be sufficient. And a little bit questionable to post up there, but now Twin-Headed Dragon hits the Ice Path. The dive coming in. Ward's delivered, and Shakira thrown back into the tower. I don't know if you want to be throwing him in like that, and it turns out to be a mistake. He'll go down. Here comes the TP from Bat Rider. Batman on the move, going for Jakiro, gets caught by that pesky Ice Path, and I think he's going to go down in the end, dropping so low. Meanwhile, middle lane, Fata actually trading some blows with Chaos Knight, pops the Blade Fury, he'll be okay. Bounty Hunter 7 now. Would love to see him with the TP, and whatever Na'Vi dives, now they have to be that much more careful.
Yeah, that was solid TP support by Pylai Dai. It kind of shows you how tanky Jakiro is as a support hero. He's only got 2 Ironwood branches and a magic stick as a level 5 hero, and that's just how long he survived. It was pretty ridiculous. Great base strength on him. Another gank going on Dendi. Actually, Fata does not have Omni Slash this time, though. He has the single spin, and that could be enough as PS comes in. There's the initiation track as well. Dendi's going to be in trouble. There's the refraction. They also have an illusion. It actually melt strikes on the wrong one, and the movement speed is just insane by these guys. He spends his money, buys his Blink Dagger, saves 175 gold. So Dendi, at the very least, lost absolutely nothing from that, but did give EXP and gold to Fata PAS.
They're letting KP dictate the tempo in a game where it needs to be Na'Vi dictating the tempo. It's really a role reversal, but you got to credit KP. The Juggernaut, as soon as he gets his boots up, his very basic items, go gank top. You have track, so Dendi, like you said, can't go inside a meld and hide. And it's just KP understanding the matchup, playing it correctly, and Na'Vi, not quite so much. Puppey, imp damage, really aggressive onto Babar, and he's dropping low to Pos. The Centaur stun misses. Puppey still running, still trying to survive here. And in fact, trying to go man mode onto Babar, who's TPing out in the trees. Beautiful little play by him. Dendi joins the fight, has that Blink Dagger. No detection though, and meanwhile middle lane, big action, Black to drop. Hey man next in line, Kurogi gets lassoed in the middle, casting that ice path, and another kill, KP. Just setting up kills all around the map, and if you're the ones on the offensive, Na'Vi can't get their sort of feet in the water, feet under them. They just can't get anything going right now, because KP keep on ganking, keep on being aggressive.
Yeah, they're doing a great job here. 6-4 at the moment, winning with the advantage. 2 kills on Dendi, very importantly, of course. Puppey might get bursted, actually. There's a Centaur here. It's about to time out. It does time out now. PS, he actually breaks Invis. There's the crit track as well. He might get killed, but only 2 levels of Shuriken as he is chasing after this. One more Janata hit and a Shuriken. He's got this guaranteed. And here it comes. Last day, he's going to juke around the tower. Oh, man, that bug is so annoying. PS is actually going to run away. Puppey stays alive. Goes Invis and dodges the imp by going Invis. Oh, my gosh.
Beautiful play.
Very smart play by Puppey. If he didn't circle that, there was no chance that he was going to survive. And basically the bug feature is that as your hero comes in within range to attack, he starts the animation and then the hero leaves the distance, so he cancels the animation. So it's like a repetitive canceling of the animation. You can outplay this by spam right-clicking to get around, but Puppey abused it and it kept him alive just long enough.
Just a cheeky play. I mean, really,
yeah.
just
it was his only chance.
Rosie. He had his heal, but he didn't have mana for it, so Puppey just cool under pressure. I think that's all there is to say about that, really. Beautiful play. And now they try to pressure mid. I gotta point out, they've only gotten 1 tower with an Enchantress, a Twin-Head Dragon, Shackle Shot, and a 4-second stun. That's what looks to be dead. And great aggression. Bat Rider running into the Ice Path. Not sure about that, but he's gonna go man mode. Nope. The Firefly doing some decent damage. 4-second stun again. Now Puppey bursting him down, heading on to Pos, but the dust comes in. Pos, that was not... Oh, unfortunate. He's going to get picked off. Na'Vi baits them into a bad fight, and still they're fighting without the TA and picking up a couple of kills.
Yeah, those 3 dead heroes mid, that even though they did stun stack on top of the Juggernaut, the Ice Path was able to disable him before he removed that with a spin. So finished off the Jug first and cleaned out Barretter trying to make plays, but once the impetus came, the damage output from Enchantress is just way too much, and he did die quite fast there. Glyph is happening mid. Dendi's pushing top lane in the mid in the meantime, and Zar actually takes a tower bot, so tier 1 tower gets killed bot. He's going for Drum Treads, actually, not going for phase. He's TPing on mid. Fada's going to do some spinning, and there's the lasso on top of Puppey. 1 stun on Fada, another 4-second stun. He will be able to get the Omni Slash off before he dies. I think he does Omni Slash on Puppey. Great target, and that gets him out of the battle. Pops a regen, does get removed. Oh, Dendi goes in, wants to grab Fada. Will he be able to? Here comes the last hit. Yes, Reality Rift will kill him. Another power shot on Pilot Ice stun. Only at 2 seconds this time, but the dual breath is going to be enough slow and burst damage, I think, and they do pick off another kill. Fight after fight on the mid lane, and Dendi is getting the upper hand. Babar even being caught. Throws a telekinesis, going to throw some stuns, but another rift and another dual breath. And yet again, Kaipi loses a hero mid.
You know, they flipped the switch. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, we have our Blink Dagger and TA. We have our levels up on Shakiro. He's 8. Chaos Knight is 9. Let's start killing people, and that's exactly what we see Na'Vi doing. They have so many spammable stuns and initiation, whereas for KP, the team fight for them isn't really there yet. They need more levels, they want more fun. Light of Heaven, I don't think Fada can actually get this kill, and he is going to back off in the end.
Yeah, totally worth it, though. They did defend the tower, so any gold advantage that Na'Vi wanted to get from that is just not going to happen for a bit. Another Shackle on Fada. That's going to be a level 4 Ice Path Fall. Tiny shows up, though. Great Avalanche Toss. Look at the AoE damage all across Na'Vi's team. Dendi getting so low, but he's got the shield up. There's Sunch. Oh, Black does get killed. And they're still not done yet. Another Shackle on Fada, Ice Path as well, and they are just splitting up. PAS probably going to get this kill. Does get it tracked just now off cooldown. And Chaos Knight's back into the fight looking for a stun. 3 second on Zar. There's the spin. Telekinesis, he's going to split off, but he's in so much trouble taking some good damage. But another solid Ice Path out of Heyman. A level 4 Ice Path does disable him for a long time.
5 heroes caught by that Ice Path. Light of Heaven doing what he does best, which is to hit those Light of Heaven shackles. Another 2-hero Ice Path. Fight completely turned around. One shot with a cleaver. Down he goes. And all of a sudden, they used at least 1 or 2 buybacks there. You got Chaos Knight bought back, Windrunner bought back, so they get 2. Not sure it's the best trade, but let's see if this is punished even further. Fonta, no ult for 20 seconds. Light of Heaven running away with that Windrun, will be able to survive. Navi just playing so incredibly aggressively and trading a lot with Bounty Hunter, which they're still ahead, but they're not really pulling ahead. And they are going to get the tower. That's what they really are after, is this map control. Tier 1's going to drop mid. Just such... and they go again.
Dual Breath comes through. The healing ward's actually giving him a lot of HP. Pylite Die not dead yet. He's going to survive for just a little bit. Throws the Flame Break. He's actually not going to die at all. The spin on Dendy might secure the kill. There's the Omni Slash. Gets it. Dendy gets picked off. Light of Heaven being chased. Hey, man. Something's stolen. It's going to be a Dual Breath. Great Dual Breath. Catches Light of Heaven as well. And that should guarantee the Jakiro kill here with a track gold bonus. Tiny with the last hit. Punches the Dragon right in the back.
He wanted to toss him forward into the Windrunner.
Oh, did he?
Not quite able to get the vision there, or the range, it looks like. So, yeah, again, trading kills. Even after getting the tower, you see the gold grab dipping towards KP. It's really hard to play against Bounty Hunter in this situation. If you don't completely dominate every lane, not giving up kills, especially against KP with lots of burst damage, good chasing power, it's tough. Navi are doing a decent job so far, but the one thing that is really costing Navi is that Dendy's being shut down. Every fight he's getting tracked. Every fight, if he tries to go in, there's a Blade Fury there to remove the refraction charges. There's the Bat Rider to kind of lock him down. He's just not able to move around freely, which is really what you hope for when you pick a Templar Assassin.
Yeah, no kidding. And he is very limited on regen as well. He doesn't have a bottle, so he's got a wand, and that's it. Once his refraction is gone and he gets low HP, he is set on dying pretty much if he is jumped on by a lot of heroes. The Bounty Hunter illusion tracking a bit. If we look at the gold graph, it is actually jumping back up again, only sitting at about a 1,000 gold advantage for Navi, which is very meager at this point. Only 1,000 of a 2,200 total, so it's a pretty darn even game, and track gold has allowed KP to stay in this a little bit longer. And keep in mind, things are going to get a little scary for them as things get late. If Tiny picks up an Aghanim Scepter, it looks like he's going Yasha next. But if he does get an Aghanims, we'll see a lot of AoE damage coming out of him and a lot of tower pushing capability as well.
Look at KP. It's all about tanking up right now. Juggernaut goes for a very late Vitality booster. I don't think he'll turn this into anything. Maybe a heart, but I don't think we're going to see a Vanguard when it's already 60 minutes in. But just surviving that initial burst from Navi, the AoE stuns, if you can do that, then you pop your Blade Fury, you get off your Omni Slash, the healing word plops in the fight. It may not turn around, but it gives you a much better chance of it. I think this is, it's also, they have so many heroes that need items that you really don't want to, go for a Battle Fury or a Midas or something more damage-oriented. Just survive and then rely on the track to kind of turn these fights around.
Black might be in trouble mid. We're looking for an ulti from Fada possibly. We just need a stun toss combo from Zar. He's trying to wait at maximum. Here it comes. Going in. There's Telekinesis starting things up. Gonna throw him back. Avalanche looking for toss as well. Maybe. Can he save his ulti? There's the toss. The stun gets thrown. Oh, he wastes the Omni Slash. Really unfortunate for Jug there. 120-second cooldown on that. He absolutely did not need to use that after the 4-second stun from Babar flew out.
And now he's got Chaos Bolt, which, it kind of fills this gap that KP have of just spammable disables. They have Avalanche, which is pretty long cooldown. Bat Rider's Lasso, very long cooldown. And, when you're up against Ice Path, you're up against Chaos Bolt, Shackle Shot, very spammable stuns. You really need something like this. So Rubik, this is the perfect spell for them to steal, aside from Ice Path, which would be even better. But it's going to make finding these pickoffs really easy as long as he has it up. And you can see Navi, they understand they need to continue knocking down towers, really limit the freedom for KP to farm, limit the room for Bounty Hunter to be set up these kills. They're going to group up top and go for tier 1. KP don't really want to fight 5v5, so they're going to just trade top.
Yeah, they will take the tower very easily. There's going to be a glyph, sorry, as they're right-clicking on this. Jakiro still level 8. I love his skill build, by the way. The max dual breath and ice path equally gives him a lot of long-duration team fight utility, rather than putting a skill into liquid fire, which is probably not worth putting in unless you really max out the skill a lot or do a lot of early pushing. He just goes for lots of dual breaths and lots of ice paths in team fight. And he's got the mana to afford it, too, since he does have Arcane Boots. It's kind of a cool little item build that... It's one of the interesting things about Jakiro right now. The skill builds are all over the place, but I really like this one.
Right, they don't really need additional pushing power. They already have Enchanters, they have plenty of AoE, and Dendy can kill creeps quickly as well, even Plane Hero. Oh, Light of Heaven! Zar wanted to go in there, but not quite able to do it. I don't know if if KP can actually fight into this, but they don't want to give away the Roshan. If Na'Vi get their hands on it, which they're about to, this is going to drop. Oh, this is not a good situation for KP.
Black snags the Aegis. There's the enchant fought. He spins just in time, though. No ice path for him. It's going to be a power shot to get vision, but can they get the fall disable? Nice avalanche from Zara. That's going to buy him a second. Denny gets the slow trap off, but only 30%. Babar traps him in. There's the shackle, though. Fada's in trouble. They throw the stun on top of Puppey. He's almost bursted down in time. They want to get him, but the heal goes out. He does die anyways. Buyback's coming now, Enchantress is buying back. Juggernaut's dead. We see Rubik dead as well, and Pylai Die being chased by a lot of Dire heroes. Throwing the shackle, another shackle shot on Pylai Die, and they pick up 3 heroes because of that engagement.
Oh, that was so unfortunate. Not only did Rubik block him in one direction, but then immediately after, the aggro from the small creep camp, the creep blocked him in on the other side. It was just a horrible death trap, and the door slammed in his face. KP just took too long to react to that Roshan. I think, honestly, either should have gone immediately or just gone to farm. A little bit indecisive, and now with Na'Vi having the Aegis, they can start to push, especially having on Black, who's rushing to BKB. He's still... I say rushing, he's not going to have it that quickly, but if he can get this up and they can push before the Aegis expires, they might have like a minute or two to do it. That's going to be tough for KP to defend. They have the lasso, they have track, but not a whole lot to do with this Chaos Knight.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough when he's magic immune. I mean, Juggernaut is doing decent. He does go Vanguard, by the way. I saw him go this build the other day, so I was wondering if he would do it again. Just worried about tanking up. Keep in mind, he did not have Omni Slash that last team fight because he did waste it on the mid lane versus the Chaos Knight. That difference might have meant something for all we know. Those extra 6 slashes could have lowered his support enough to swing the fight, but... opts for Vanguard instead. Now is the part where Juggernaut starts peaking off a bit, especially since he did go largely utility and tank items here. He's pretty much relying on Omni Slash and Spin for all of his damage. His right clicks are not super significant. He's got 4 skill points in the healing ward, so his crit isn't even all the way up. So this is going to start limiting Kaipi a bit in the damage output in the team fights.
Look at all the traps from Denny. Just so hard to get the jump on Na'Vi. And, well, they're going to force this fight. I don't like this idea too much. Sar gets caught. 4-second stun. Something stolen by the Rubik. What was that? Chaos Bolt. Doesn't matter, though. Chaos Knight gets 1. Ice Path catching out, too. This is looking real bad. Maybe not, though. The fight turns around. The Omni Slash only bounced into the creeps. Unlucky for Fada, but tanking quite well. Remember, Black does have the Aegis. He'll drop, but he'll come right back to life. Another 2-hero shackle. Are they going to turn this fight around? Are they going to jump in? Puppey pops the dust. What the hell am I saying? And 2 traded, and they get rid of the Aegis, and the tower. Was it denied? No. Juggernaut last hits a great engagement. Really thought that was going to go worse for KP, but just beautiful play by the Tidy, hitting tons of heroes with that avalanche toss.
Was that before or after he died? Or got shackled, sorry.
I don't know. I saw a ton of heroes drop as he threw out the nukes.
I see. So yeah, he must have thrown it out just in time. One benefit of Tiny: you don't need to be alive for very long to be able to do your main source of damage. So good for him. He did get shackled and stunned. I saw Juggernaut did last hit the tower, by the way. At the start of the fight, he was just right-clicking that, unable to put the healing ward down a little earlier because he was silenced. Once you spin, you cannot cast other spells. So, but they take the tower and they trade semi-evenly on kills. Did we see Track stolen? No, Track is all on their team, so they should be good.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad if Na'Vi were able to steal Track without having Rubik. So, yeah, I don't know for KP. They have this Blink Dagger and Bat Rider, and one thing I'll say is, unfortunately, they keep on trying to gank Dendy, and every time they get close, there's a trap that spots him, and he just blinks away. So they're not really fighting the kills with this. At the same time, though, they're farming reasonably well. Juggernaut, like you said, went for more of a utility build, but he doesn't have to be the primary damage dealer. He's kind of,
that's true.
You know, just keep the Tiny alive. The thing is, Tiny's got to find a way to survive in these fights. Na'Vi are doing a great job of slowing him, of kiting him, and they don't have a Wisp. They have Track to make him move a little bit faster, but when you have Chaos Knight, when you have Jakiro, and all the other slows and stuns, they can lock Tiny down. He's got to get a Manta. He's got to get a BKB, something to help him survive. Hey, man, he's running real fast.
Getting out of there, using that haste rune. He does have wings. I mean, he should be pretty quick. So it makes a lot of sense here.
Twin-headed dragon is not a very nimble creature, to be fair. He's kind of...
Dude, you see those little back wings on his hips? You know he's fast. Look at those little things. That is where he gets all of his speed from, and you know it. Come on.
That's... yeah, about that. That's a little pathetic. Top lane, Dendy has a Desolator. Gonna find the solo kill in Tsar, and... uh-oh. This could be trouble. Dendy having this Desolator. If he can start fighting pickoffs like that, that's... They're a bit behind as far as these towers go. They don't have the best map control right now, and... well, they're not behind, but without the tier 1s, Dendy can kind of have a field day, unless Bounty Hunter's there to track him.
He can actually go on PAS. This is their sentry. This is a Radiant sentry, actually. So he's going to track on Dendy. There's the shackle shot. They're going to try to turn it. Shield is getting low. Shield is broken, but that is not going to be enough. There's the meld strike. Doesn't get the kill on PS, though. He might hop back in. He's thinking about it. Here comes the TP. This is going to be Juggernaut. There throws the Shuriken to try to stop the blink, but he is long gone there. That was looking pretty scary for them, but all of a sudden, Dendy just doing insane amounts of damage with the Desolator. But luckily, they do have a Vlad, so that'll offset some of the minus armor.
He was going for a Ferrari there. He was trying to splash from the creeps to hit the bounty hunter.
Oh, was he?
I think so. I don't know why he was diving the tower even further otherwise. So he didn't have any detection, but not quite able to pull it off. That's one of those things. It's 1 in a million, but you go for it, and then if you hit it, Opa Dendy.
All right, and bot is now being pushed by Na'Vi here. Puppy has an Elf Wolf, lots of skeletons as well. Go little skeleton warriors. Light of Heaven, Force Staff, as well as a mech, and this is once again the adjusted Force Staff. It's not nearly as good in terms of damage, but it does give you some HP regen. PS going to show up, slowing down the creep wave push, and I don't think they can commit to this. There's no BKB on Chaos Knight yet, so he still does have to be careful. But he does have a level 2 ulti at least, so he'll have a decent amount of illusions in the team fight.
I really like the idea behind this Vlads because they do have 3 melee kind of right-click heroes, but they also really need BKBs to fight against Na'Vi, and that's 2,000 gold, not towards a BKB. It's Juggernaut went for a Vanguard. It's another hero that isn't going to have a BKB. Quickly, Tiny going for just... Actually, he might be going back for BKB. It looks like he might just not get the Aghanims. It's not clear, but he has that option.
Yeah, I'm really not sure if they can afford that. I do think the Vlads is necessary, though, against the Desolator and a lot of physical damage. They're going to need this 5 armor. It's going to offset a lot of the Deso, as well as the Meld Strike from the TA. And especially on squishy heroes. Tiny doesn't have a whole lot of armor just yet, and we did see him get solo killed by Denny. There's the going in, grabs Black, but Pylon Die getting chain initiated on. Wow, hey man, perfect plays there. Throws down the Ice Path, Fada spinning. Zar gets 4-second stun, pulled into the Macro Pyre, taking insane magic damage here. 1 spell is stolen. It's going to be Reality Rift, not what he was hoping to grab. And Puppy TP's back in. Another shackle, latches Fata to the creep. Taking the right clicks, his Vanguard keeping him alive, but the heal, he's going to get the Omni Slash off at least, but I think he's going to die immediately afterwards. Tries to grab Dendy, but here's the right click. Another Ice Path on 2. PAS taking the right click, mini stun, and the right clicks, they get him. 3 dead now. Na'Vi is winning team fights consistently here, and they're going to be able to push in and possibly threaten the racks.
And they lost the tower. I'm a little surprised they stayed around to fight that after Tiny died. It's their big AoE hero. It's, you know, you don't normally think of Tiny that. You think of as more as sort of the carry or just the burst damage here, but he's their only AoE stun. They need him to win fights, and try to stay around for the tower tonight. That was a little greedy, and they're going to pay for it. They might lose. In fact, it looks like they're going to lose racks off of this.
Yeah, Fada doesn't have an Omni Slash, so he's going to be strolling in, going for Puppy. Couple right clicks. There's the Avalanche. Stun on Puppy. Only 2-second stun. Rubik dies very rapidly. Once again, Ice Path catching so many heroes. Another Macro Pyre. It's already off cooldown. And oh my god, Heyman is just crushing these team fights. Ice Path into second. There's the 3-second stun. Follow up, and he gets killed. That's 5 dead. Good game is called. That's over now. They can't win the team fights anymore. That is very apparent. There's too much AoE damage and too much burst out of Na'Vi, so they're going to take game 1.
I also wonder why they're focusing Black in these fights. You know, you jump in on the Chaos Knight, and sure, he does a lot of damage, but Dendy's an easier kill, and he's also going to do more with a Crystallis as well as a Desolator at the end of the game. But it mostly just comes down to a bit of a greedy draft from KP and the Na'Vi picking their fights wisely, executing a little bit better, and just pulling away with it. And KP... I liked some of the things they did this game, like having the Batrider jungling near the Juggernaut mid, so if they did dive, he'd be able to help. Having the Juggernaut to kind of counter that aggressive dual lane, but it was just, I think it was one hero that needed farm too many, and Na'Vi punished it in the end. Yeah,
they had a great early game, but they're early to mid, somewhere in there, about the 15 to 20 minute mark. After they killed that Chaos Knight, and then they lost that bad team fight when Na'Vi took Roshan. That's when things really started turning around for Na'Vi and gave them the advantage in game 1. So we'll be back in a second, guys. This is the best of 3. We're trying to determine who's going to get first place in Division 1 of Season 4 of the GosuLeague. The prize pool is $2,500, so plenty of money on the line. My name's Purge. I'm here with LD, and we'll be back in just a second with game number 2. Don't go anywhere.